The lighting was amazing this morning. Pressed record, talked for about 23 minutes, and my camera stopped recording at 4 minutes and 54 seconds. So I went to Target and I shopped their Black History section, bought me some new shirts, and we're gonna try this again. So as you can see from the title, this video is going to be all about my breast reduction procedure from beginning to end. I'm trying to make this all inclusive, and this will be the last one of this series unless there is something else that you want me to discuss. As I mentioned, it's going to be a long one. I have my new mug and it's so cute to commemorate the occasion, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So I have 3 other videos that have been posted about this topic. One saying why I decided to get the reduction, one talking about some pre-op measures I had to take, and then also the last one that I posted last week is from surgery day to day 5 in my recovery. So I'm going to go backwards a little bit and talk about that video. So you guys saw me at the hospital. I went there on the 30th. Today is January 10th. I am 11 days post-op, and I'm feeling a lot better. So surgery day, I went into the hospital at 5:30. Surgery was scheduled for 7:30. I went back, I think about closer to 8. My surgeon was a little late, but I expected it because that's him. So let's see. Actually I left out a couple important pieces because the clip that I recorded the day of my procedure was corrupted, so I could not include it. So I wanted to go back and talk about some things that they did to prep me for surgery. One, due to the anesthesia, I was at the top of the list for the having a risk to having an adverse reaction to anesthesia. So they gave me a motion sickness patch to put behind my ear to help with the nausea and all that good stuff. And I kept that on for about 3 days. I took it off Friday morning, I believe it was, after my procedure, and didn't have any issues. Number 2, they put cuffs on my legs that were supposed to help with the blood flow, keeping my blood circulating while I was under anesthesia. And the third thing that somebody asked me in the comments, and I'm glad that they reminded me, I did have a breathing tube. So I had to sign some paperwork talking about, you know, making sure my dental work was okay and whatever, nothing was loose, and they weren't going to damage anything by putting the breathing tube, you know, in me or whatever while I was under. So those things, very important, because when I got home that day from surgery, I did have a very sore throat. I had a sore throat for about 2.5, 3 days. I just drank tea, you know, a bunch of fluid, and I had ginger mints on hand, and I was good. I was hoarse, but it went away rather quickly. I had a really, really weird sensation in my heels, which I'm going to assume was because of the sleeves or whatever you want, cuffs on my legs. It felt like somebody had given me a pedicure and they had scrubbed my feet too hard, and my heels really, really hurt to put on the ground flat. So I was kind of walking on my tiptoes the night of surgery and the next morning, but that went away, and that was that. So I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that. And like I said, pretty much by day 3, all of those things were gone. Day 5, you guys saw that I was going to the doctor to get my I was going to the doctor to get my drains removed. So if you have not seen those videos, I'll make sure to link them down below, put some iCards up, because that'll give you a little bit of a background to what I'm talking about now. So I got the tubes removed, or why do I keep saying tubes? I got the drains removed, and then my mother and I went to CVS. I got some stuff for my recovery, specifically because I could take a shower now. I needed like unscented soap, and I wanted to make sure that I had some bandage covers because he told me to leave my tape on as long as possible, and I didn't want it to come off in the shower or anything like that. So I went to CVS, I went to Aldi, took my mom to get some food, came home. That night I was sleeping, and I assumed because my drains were gone, I was a lot more comfortable and I felt okay moving around in my bed. So I woke up the next day a little sore. I'm not gonna lie. So I was like, okay, this is different. But that day, which was day 6, was when my mother was going back home. So my doctor told me to walk. At my appointment, when he removed my drains, a couple of things he told me: keep the tape on as long as possible, walk as much as possible, and drink as much fluid as I can. So I went walking with my mom. We only did about 1.5 miles, very, very slow speed. And came back home. She showered. She got on the road and went to my sister's house. So I was like, okay, cool. That evening, things started to change. So up until day 6, I actually felt okay. I did not have any like serious pain, you know, anything that threw me off. That night, I started to feel a little itchy. So I'm like, okay, you know, I have tattoos. I understand as tattoos heal, they itch. Every time I get one, I'm like, this itch is ridiculous. Why did I get another tattoo? The itch goes away. I love the work. I go get another tattoo. Cool. So I started to itch, whatever. I would scratch like under the, under where my bandages and stuff are, never touching the scar itself, or just kind of scratch above it and it would go away. Went to sleep. That next day, day 7, my line sister came over, the one that gave me this cute little mug, and I was itching. I had went out walking, took a shower, put on new pajamas, and we were sitting downstairs, and she brought me some food. So I was eating and I just started to itch. And while she was there, I could not get the itch to go away. And I'm like, oh, something is not right. So that night I started Googling, and she was Googling, and we saw that it's a reaction that some people have. So I started asking, well, not even a reaction. It is something that happens from the surgery, which makes sense because you have a huge scar. So, and when you're healing, you itch. So I asked some of the ladies that I had talked to previously that have had this procedure. And one specifically, which is one of my close friends' cousins, said that she did not remember having itching, but she was a nurse practitioner. So she suggested I take an over-the-counter antihistamine, or antihistamine, however you say it. And so I was like, okay, cool. And I had Claritin on hand, took that, felt better for a couple hours. When I laid down to go to sleep that night, y'all, it felt like my chest was on fire, like literal fire. I wanted to like cry because I couldn't, not because it hurt, but because I could not get it to stop. So I eventually, somehow, don't know how, went to sleep and woke up the next morning, and I texted one of my friends that had the procedure about a month or so before me. And I said, hey, did you have any itching? Because I'm itching really badly and I don't know what to do. And she said, yes, week 2, which was hilarious because day 7 was the, you know, I was about to start week 2. She said, week 2, I started itching like crazy, and I took children's Benadryl and I just went to sleep. I got up, went straight to CVS when it opened, got children's Benadryl, took some, and went to sleep. And actually that Thursday, I had started working back online. So I would take the Benadryl, take a nap just long enough to get the drowsiness off of me, get online, work. When I felt drowsy again, take a quick nap, wake up, go back to work, you know, whatever. So I did that Thursday. Friday, I took the Benadryl twice. I didn't need any that morning. I was okay. I took it in the afternoon and I took it before bed. Saturday, I woke up and I did not have any itching, any pain, none of that. I did not take medicine yesterday until about 8:30 at night. So I had gone a full 24 hours without taking another dose of medicine. It is currently about 12:30 on Sunday, January 10th, and I have not taken another dose of medicine. So I say all of that to say that although those 2.5 days were a little, it was a lot. It was a lot for me to handle. 2.5 days out of 11, I'll take it. And I was talking to my mom this morning and saying that, you know, I feel like as women, a lot of times our pain tolerance is a little bit higher because we experience, you know, certain things. And, you know, I've had, you know, cramps my whole life. And honestly, in comparison, like this was not bad at all. So I am grateful and thankful for that. So that has been my recovery. Like I said, day 11, I am doing really well. Yesterday, I went and walked 2.5 miles. I'm still moving very slow, but I did it. My goal is to get up to 5 miles at least 3 times a week before I go back to my last appointment on February 1st. So I have quite a while to get there, not rushing it at all, but I just go walk, and when I feel like I've done enough, I come back inside. So I wanted to make sure that I got back to you guys if anybody is interested, and let you know what I have experienced. I will always provide this disclaimer. I am an engineer by degree. I am not a doctor. So please make sure you seek your family care physician, a specialist, or whatever the case may be, if this is something that you're interested in, before going to a surgeon for a consultation. But I did want to share, because some of the things that I experienced, I did not hear from others that have shared their story with me. So speaking of that, one of the most important parts of my surgery was the prep, and the amazing women that have shared their stories in the comments, in my DMs, my friends have connected me with, like, have provided so much to help me get ready for, you know, my recovery. So I wanted to provide you with the list that one of the young ladies gave me that was life-changing. So she told me to get a large pillow. I bought an incline pillow, or I had my sister buy it for me for Christmas off of Amazon. I purchased closed front sports bras off of Amazon. I purchased a respiratory trainer off of Amazon. I purchased button downs and zip front jackets. I got those from the thrift store out the men's section. And I was told to make sure to have all of my medication, everything that I needed, right near me on my nightstand. So I bought Tylenol, Motrin, had tons of water, snacks, all that right beside me. So everything came in handy. The pillow specifically, because I sleep on my stomach. I've always slept on my stomach. And with the drain, or with the drains, you can't sleep. Well, first of all, with the surgery, you can't sleep on your stomach. With the drains, you can't sleep on your side. So I've had to sleep on my back, and I wanted to make it as comfortable as possible. So I have the incline pillow, and I use a neck pillow, and that's been the easiest for me. Having the zip front jacket was a game changer, because it's still difficult for me to put shirts over my head right now. So when I got home from surgery, just being able to zip up and go changed the game. I have an Adidas zip front jacket that I got out the men's section at Goodwill, and I probably wore that for like 2.5 days straight. It was the only thing that I could put on comfortably, and I didn't, you didn't want anything super tight or anything like that, so it worked for me. The button downs, I wore a button down to the hospital, and it was the easiest thing for me to put on after surgery. And the respiratory trainer, as pneumonia is something that is easier for you to contract after having surgery, I'm assuming, due to the breathing tube. I'm not sure. Once again, I'm not a doctor. I used that for about 5 days post-surgery, and then after getting my drains removed, I just make sure to practice deep breathing when I go walking. But when I was at home, if I did feel like I needed to cough, I made sure to cough to break up whatever was going on, as I did not want it to linger around in my chest. Like I said, the Tylenol and Motrin, I had it right next to my bed. Now the Benadryl. I was prescribed a antibiotic that I had to take the night of surgery, a set of antibiotics for 10 days that I finished last night, and I was prescribed a painkiller. I have not used any of the painkiller. I have only taken Tylenol and Motrin since coming back home. I know they put stuff in you when you're at the hospital, so I probably had stuff in my system for a couple of days, but I have not actively taken any of the painkillers that were prescribed to me. Just a personal preference. I don't really like medicine, so I was trying to push it as far as I could, which probably isn't the best thing to do, but that's what I preferred. So it's worked for me. So I wanted to provide that list to you as well, if this is something that you were considering. I've had a couple people reach out to me saying that after, they have children, this is something that they're looking to do, or they've been thinking about it and they're scared. completely understand. As I mentioned, this is something that I went back and forth for years about. And I just feel like this timing was really good. One, because of, you know, we've been at home, so it allowed me the opportunity to be at home and recover fully. Two, because of the ultrasound and mammogram that I had, my procedure allowed for a lot of the tissue that the radiologist was concerned about to be removed and to be tested. So I was able to kill two birds with one stone, in a sense. And then also just, you know, for my health, as far as my posture, being able to work out, and then also my self-confidence. My self-confidence was in the drain, y'all. And I know that it's difficult because they, you know, they say that we always want what we don't have. And for me, having such a large chest with such a small frame made me super, like, oh my goodness, like, I don't even know if I can put into words like how insecure it made me feel, like putting on clothes that just didn't look good. I felt like nothing that I put on looked good. Anything that buttoned down, I had to worry about putting pins in the shirt. I couldn't zip stuff up. Just wearing, like, I would buy stuff that was oversized and it'd be super, super tight. Like, it was just a really, it wasn't a good place to be. And I am really excited for what is to come. I am still, you know, swollen, so I don't know exactly what my size is at the moment. But the picture that I will insert, before surgery, I was a 38 FG, in the middle somewhere. So an F is usually labeled as a triple D, and I would assume that I was a little bit bigger than that. I was wearing Third Love bras and I could fit a 38F comfortably, but every bra is different. You know, I hadn't been like officially sized, but I'd say probably somewhere between a FG. And my goal was to go down to a C. So it is a big difference. When I do show you guys the comparison, it's going to look drastic. It's a lot of cup sizes down, but my ultimate goal is to never go above a D cup ever again. After kids, if I gain weight, whatever, my goal is to not go above a D ever again. And I do know that as you lose and gain weight, your body will fluctuate, whatever the case may be. But that's the goal. So I wanted to come and film this video so I could provide all the information or lay out everything that I had, you know, for you guys that I experienced. I feel like I've touched on everything. The last little piece before I show you guys the comparison is my surgeon. So I found my surgeon on Google. I had found a clinic at first, and they actually did not do the surgery that I was looking to. So for some reason, I did not assume that breast reduction was plastic surgery. And it took me a while to figure that out. So I found a plastic surgeon on, like I said, on Google. I read his reviews and they were really good. One review stood out to me, and they said if you were looking to have any type of breast surgery in the DMV area, Dr. Alatar is the person to go to. So I had a consultation. I really liked him, and we, you know, decided to go forward. When I was at the hospital, the young man who inserted my IV into my hand was really nice guy. And he asked me who was performing my procedure, and I told him, and he was like, "You're good." He was like, "You're fine. He's awesome. You have nothing to worry about." And so he was still actually around when Dr. Alatar got to the hospital and talked to me, and we did whatever little paperwork we needed to do. And the guy was standing in front of the room, and he told me to tap my mom, and I tapped my mom, and he looked at her and he said, "She's good." So that made me feel so much better. Post-procedure, having my appointments with him, he's been awesome. He just made me really comfortable. And all in all, my experience, the hospital staff, my surgeon, even the person checking me in at Inova Alexandria, they made me feel very comfortable. I'm usually extremely nervous in like hospital doctor settings, and I had none of that. And I am really, really grateful and very appreciative to the team that worked on me, and for my mom for her help, and for Solomon for his help, because this is probably the first time that I have not been able to take care of myself in my adult years. So it was a lot, because I like to do things. I have a type A personality, and it's very hard for me to sit back and step back. And when I tell y'all, my friends, family came through for your girl, like, I about cried so many times, from people bringing food, having meals delivered. My mother-in-law brought a ton of food. Like, I didn't have to think about buying or cooking probably until like day 8. It was just so very sweet, and I am so grateful. People buying me button-ups and zip-up tops because they know that I couldn't wear them before. Like, don't get me started. But I'm so grateful and thankful, and I will say that if it's something that you're thinking about, like I said, make sure you sit down and talk to your physician first before you know, pursuing it. But all in all, I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I mean that wholeheartedly. So far, I can tell the difference in my posture. Walking feels better. I feel like I have a whole new body, and I truly believe that this is going to be a life-changing thing for me, because when I show you guys the before and after pictures, it's mind-blowing for me. So I know it'll be interesting to you guys as well. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like I said, this should be the last one in this series. I'm hoping to film some wedding stuff for you guys next, and then also got a few requests for hair things, so I'm gonna try to do that. Also, Solomon said he's gonna be on the channel this year, so we're gonna see how that goes. But if you have any specific questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments, or follow me on Instagram at VA_slim25. You can send me a DM. I'm usually pretty responsive. I'm gonna go ahead and take pictures so you can see the before and after. And thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.